Not only is Nicole Lapin a money expert, but she's also a New York Times best-selling author who is launching her own 12-week personal finance course called The Money School. In the course, students will learn how to take practical control of their finances through video lessons, spending plans, and more. Everyone, please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Nicole Lapin.
Hi, thanks for coming on.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you?
Hey, thanks for being here.
Hi. Oh my God, I love that dress.
Hi. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God.
I love your energy right now.
Yeah.
Perfect for a Friday.
I mean, I don't know what's in there. It may or may not be water. I'm just throwing it out there. Just trying to keep it real. It's Friday. It's happening.
Cool.
For the weekend.
Yes, ready. So what made you decide to launch the Money School?
We don't learn this stuff in school.
Don't.
Hello. What do we learn in school? Some bullshit things. I just learned I could swear on this show. Yeah. I'm
Go
moving
for
back.
it.
I'm moving in. Thank you guys.
Yeah, there's room on the couch.
Right? We learn trigonometry. We learn how to dissect a frog. Like, what in the hell do we need to know that for?
Agreed.
Anybody tell me?
No.
Like, we don't learn how to do our budget or do our taxes or how to make a business plan. Like, that would be so much more useful, right?
Yeah.
Than algebra or the Pythagorean theorem. But we don't. And so it's no excuse to bury your head in the sand just because we didn't learn this stuff. And my family was an immigrant family. Like, nobody talked to me about money growing up. I didn't read the Wall Street Journal. And so you can't bury your head in the sand and just be like, I didn't learn that, so I'm gonna be broke.
Right.
You know, budgeting sucks, but so does being broke.
Yeah.
Being broke sucks way more.
Being broke sucks.
Been there.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more
there.
specifically about those lessons that the Money School does offer?
So it's a 12-step plan. Both of my books, Rich Bitch and Boss Bitch, are 12-step plans too. The first step is admitting you have a problem. Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Who has a problem? I have problems. I have more issues than Vogue.
I don't have any problem.
I mean, we all have
Why'd you look at
issues,
me?
right? It's about confronting it first, looking your destiny in the eye, and then I come up with steps because breaking this down into steps makes it more manageable, right? It can be so overwhelming and so intimidating, and that's why I break it down into baby steps. You know, we don't like to talk about money. I go to dinner with my girlfriends, we talk about everything, like bikini waxes and sexy time and like everything before we talk about money. And then I'm like, girl, what are you making?
Right.
And it's crickets. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you just told me about your landing strip. Like, what? I'm sorry, how is the money discussion taboo? So I wanted to open it up in a way where I show you mine if you show me yours. I talk about all my salaries. I talk about everything I made. I
love
talk about
that.
how I got into
Yeah.
debt. Debt is the only four-letter word I don't like. And how I got myself out of it the hard way.
Wow. And what was that process like of converting those steps into, you know, like an actual school, like for people to like go, like taking those lessons from the book?
Oh my gosh, I'm the least likely person to be a money expert. You know, growing up in that immigrant family, first generation American, super broken home, I just needed a job. I was 18, I got a job on the floor of the Chicago Merc because I needed one. And I realized that money is just a language like anything else. We just don't have a Rosetta Stone growing up. So if I could teach myself this stuff, like anyone can do it. My boyfriend in high school said he wanted to be a hedge fund manager.
Oh.
I'm serious. He actually dumped me. I don't know who wants to be a hedge fund manager in high school. Thank
Yeah, that's
you.
like
Next.
that's a red flag,
Right?
sociopath, American psycho type of
Exactly.
thing. You got out.
I feel like that's a turn on. That's a turn on to
You're a millionaire?
I'm like, you want to make money? I'm going to stay with you.
But he dumped me actually because I couldn't hang out with his Wall Street friends because I didn't know how to speak the language of money.
Well,
But then fast forward when I was anchoring on CNBC, the early morning show, his friends wanted to.
I bet they.
They wanted to hang out with me.
Interesting.
They wanted to hang out with me now.
And
right?
now you're.
Who's laughing last?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And this is a revenge episode.
Drag him.
Drag.
Bull Run.
That's right.
Your book, which you mentioned, Rich Bitch, was a New York Times bestseller. So again, that boy who dumped her.
That's right. What?
What you missed out on.
What a
What was it like, that reception, to have a New York Times best-selling book?
Okay, First of all, it took me 10 years to get a book. I was a news anchor for 1.5 years, and I thought everybody has a book. Like, you just check a box and have a book. I didn't think it would be successful. In life and in Wall Street, the only thing I can tell you for sure is that it's better to beat low expectations. And so I had super low expectations for this. I was like, if I name a book Rich Bitch, people are gonna have feelings about it, right? Like, it's either gonna crush it or it's gonna fail miserably. There's no in between. There's no gray area whatsoever. So thankfully, it crushed it. It was crazy. The response I saw was like, hit the New York Times bestseller list right away, sold out on Amazon. I was like, what in the hell is going on? It showed me that there is a need for this information. You know, I was speaking to a lot of old rich white dudes on CNBC and Bloomberg, and I was like, enough. I need to talk to the audience that needs it most. My former self, that girl who got dumped, that girl who was smiling and nodding and not joining basic money conversations. She needed me most because we don't learn this stuff, bringing it full circle in school. And so I think that there was a real void and a real need, and the success of it showed me that.
Right, and you've mentioned you've come from an immigrant home. In high school, you didn't know anything about this, and you hosted for 10 years. What was your journey like becoming a money expert? Because it seems like that wasn't the path that people would think you would set out on.
Fake it till you make it. You know, when they asked me if I knew anything about business news, I wanted a job in regular news. Right. And I just lied, and I said, how much swearing can I do here?
A lot.
Like all the swearing?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we've done
Allie right here has done quite a few.
So I was like, absolutely. I love business news all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. How did you know?
Right.
And I totally lied, and I knew nothing. I was like, bonds? Is that like Bond Girl? What is that? What is that? But I, you know, was on the floor of the exchange. It was the MBA of hard knocks that I got. I didn't work at a bank. I didn't get my real MBA, but I just needed that JOB. And a lot of money and business experts will say, you probably have them on the show all the time, like, just go out and do what you love. Like, burn that corporate bra and go do what you love. And I'm like, hold on, not everybody had the luxury to do that. I certainly didn't. I had to figure out how to love what I did, not do what I love, because I wanted to be Christiane Amanpour. I was like, I'm going to the war zone.
Yes.
Instead, I went down to another war zone, which was Wall Street. But yeah, I figured out how to make it my own and figure out how to love what I did.
Okay. And do you have we ask a lot of people for tips for millennials, but specifically, I want tips for people who are freelance or out of a job. Like, how do you manage money when you do not have money to manage?
Right. Well, first of all, you have to come up with a plan. When people say, I blew my budget, I'm like, did you even have a budget to begin with? Like, how do you blow a budget you don't have? You have to come up with a plan. A dream without a plan is just a wish, and wishes are awesome, but they don't pay the bills. And so coming up with a spending plan, I look at a spending plan like I would an eating plan. So like a regular diet. If you allow yourself small indulgences, you won't end up binging later on. So especially now in the beginning of the year, when we come up with these resolutions, we're like, I'm gonna cut out the morning latte, I'm gonna clip up all my credit cards, I'm just gonna go cold turkey. I'm like, yeah, okay, call me when you binge on a Gucci purse because you were so hungry and so deprived. The same thing goes like in a regular diet. If you go on some crazy like juice cleanse, or I don't even know what's cool now, paleo and Atkins, keto, whatever. It's like grapefruit. Like, you're gonna binge. You're gonna end up in the middle of the night noshing on a big old hunk of chocolate cake because your ass was so hungry and so deprived, right? The same thing goes with a financial plan. If you allow yourself the equivalent of a Hershey's Kiss, you won't end up noshing on a big old hunk of chocolate cake in the middle of the night because you're so hungry and so deprived. So that's like a latte. I break it down to the 70% being the essentials, 15% being the end game, and 15% being the extras. So 15% going to the latte or the mani-pedi or whatever does it for you to keep you on track and keep you from binging.
That's a good goal.
Something sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah, good resolution.
I just started budgeting in my head right now. I was like, oh, no more lattes.
Yes, lattes.
Yeah.
Totally.
No, I moved from lattes to iced coffee because it's like $1 cheaper. And then if they give me bad service, I've been cutting their tips down too. Yeah, if they're mean. Yeah, well, because the coffee guy's been really mean to me lately, so I've just been like, really, 50 cents instead of $1.
Oh.
But then if I pull back his tip, the next day he's nicer to me and he gets his $1 back.
Oh.
Okay.
So play games with your barista.
Yeah, do
There's a tip
it.
right
Next
there.
book, Barista Biz. Coming up with new ideas here.
What are some things we can do, you know, in our 20s and early 30s to help us later in life with our finances? I mean, budgeting is obviously one of the big ones.
Totally, and retirement, know it's super scary, but we sometimes think of our future self as a totally different person than our present self. So just like a really fast refresher on retirement stuff, if y'all want to get into that. Or we can talk about investing, or we can talk about anything.
Investing.
Yeah.
Do that.
Or negotiating. I love all
Oh,
these
see, I'm
things.
like, let's talk about retirement plans. I'm like more into
Let's
that,
talk
but
about
investing
everything.
is also
well,
cool.
just really quick, with a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA, it sounds like an STD, right?
Does.
It is not, okay? So the whole difference is when everybody's like, go do a Roth IRA, well, all they're saying is you're gonna pay taxes now. And I love that idea. Why? You're like, no, I don't want to pay tax. Lucas is like,
like,
no, I pay enough taxes,
What are taxes?
right? Thank you, guys. You know, you pay taxes now because you're betting on your future self. You're betting that you're going to be in a higher tax bracket later on, so your taxes are going to be higher. And I'm not a betting woman, but I assume that taxes are going to be higher later.
Right.
Yeah.
Yikes. What should we invest in?
Yourself. That pays most dividends later on. No, it's true.
Myself?
Yeah.
I wanted to invest in like a cool company and they like blow up and then I'm like, I'm a millionaire overnight.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about that, because a lot of people say the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to be a millionaire. I just want $1 million. And I say, oh yeah, what do you want to do with that $1 million? Maybe you need more than $1 million. Maybe you need less than $1 million. I have no idea. First, figure out the life you want to live, and then reverse engineer to figure out how to get the money to live the life you want. So it's really about goal setting. We came up with our 3 E's. I love me some alliteration. How about some 3 F's? I love F words too.
Right. We all do.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm at the right place. Family, finance, and fun. And coming up with your goals in 1, 3, 5, 7, 10-year increments is really important. Because people used to say to me all the time, what do you want to do in 10 years? Or what do you want to be in 5 years? And I was like, have anxiety. I start schwitzing. I break out into hives. I was like, oh, I don't know. Why was I so freaked out? Because I didn't actually answer the question. Studies have shown that women who create cohesive narratives for themselves and their lives are more likely to be successful. So breaking it down into those baby chunks again is really important. And it's looking at your goals holistically. It's not your family life or your personal life and your work life. It's your one full life. If you're not happy in one area, you're not going to be happy in general. And by the way, there is nothing more time, money, and energy intensive than children. So if you want children, I don't care. You can have 10 children, you can have 10 cats. It doesn't matter to me. Just figure out what that is, or you can freeze your eggs when you were 31 like I did. And you can plan for that, because that's gonna really affect your finances more than anything else. Yeah. In my second book, Boss Bitch, I was like, why do more money books not talk about family planning?
Right.
The conversation has to happen together.
Yeah, well, let's set some goals.
Yeah.
Woo! Thanks so much for joining us.
10 cats!
You can learn more about Nicole and the Money School at www.nicolelapin.com.
Thank you.